This is a brief video on Latin pronunciation in ancient times, particularly the issue of V, the consonantal sound, V, and then the U sound. Now, in the Italian pronunciation, that consonantal sound, the W sound, became changed and got a bit of buzzing to it, becoming V. But we know it was W. There's lots of attestations from the Romans, and also words that have come across from the Latin even into English, preserving the W sound. For example, the Roman word vallum, V-A-L-L-U-M, vallum, becomes wall. We build a wall, we don't build a wall, right? Or the old word when, which is not used anymore, comes from vena, V-E-N-A. So we don't say ven, we say when. Or something that's very common, wine, W-I-N-E, comes from vinum, V-I-N-U-M. So we don't drink vine, although the plant grows on the vine. We drink vinum, wine. And another word where the ancient Latin sound is conserved in English is the Latin word vermis. Vermis is a worm, so V-E-R-M-I-S gives us worm. So this is the consonantal sound of the UV. Then we have, for example, the word lingua, lingua franca. We don't say lingva, we say lingua with a W, consonantal W. And this is where the vowel sound is sliding into a consonant. So we don't say lingva, we say lingua, L-I-N-G-U-A, lingua. The Romans, of course, didn't distinguish between the U and the V in their writing. Another example, and these last three are not as strong as the first ones, the word persuade with a W sound, right? So that's from suadio, S-U-A-D-E-O, or S-V-A-D-E-O, suadio. It's not a vowel, it's a consonant. So we don't say persuade, we say persuade with a W, just like in wine. And another example, sequor, sequor with a W sound. So sequor, I follow, giving us sequence with a W. We don't say sequence, we say sequence. So these are examples of the conservation of the sound in English. And then, of course, we have various other sources as well, but I'm just giving you the obvious ones here. The change from the W sound to something that's V, which sounds a bit like a B, occurred somewhere around the 1st century, and we know this because after the 1st century we start to find spelling mistakes where people who haven't been taught that well start to confuse the W with a B, a B, which of course is a bilabial. B and V are quite similar. So people that didn't know Latin that well, stone carvers or whatever, who didn't have the best education, were making spelling mistakes. And this is pointed out in Allen in Vox Latina, which, if you're interested in the classical pronunciation of Latin, is a book that I highly recommend that you buy and read very, very carefully. So this starts happening, and we get to Velius Longus, who's writing in the 2nd century, and he says that it's cum aliqua aspiratione, that is pronounced with a certain amount of breathing. In other words, V, it's got a sound to it. And then this develops into the Romance languages further on, and so we get vin in French, and so on and so on. And then the word gets into English from the French, vine. So we have wine, which is from the Latin, and we have vineyard and vine from the French. Because English, of course, has got influences from both of those after the Norman conquest. That's where we are. But in the time of the Republic, the time where we're interested for restored classical pronunciation, then we are interested in the sound which is w, the way that Caesar would have pronounced it. And there we have it. Wale, bye.